What up, fight fans? This is Square Circle Productions, and this is my new rant, and this one is on the Black Murderers Row series, and this particular one is my actual last Black Murderers Row member, which is Charley Burley. Okay, born September 6, 1917, Charles Dwayne Burley took up boxing at the age of 12. At the Boys and Girls Club in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Okay, he would eventually fight as a lightweight in his amateur days as a youth, and he won city titles in Pittsburgh. He won state titles in the state of Pennsylvania, and he won a national junior Golden Gloves boxing championship. He also will win the national seniors Golden Gloves at welterweight. Okay, he was invited to join the U.S. men's boxing team in the, I want to say 36. That was whatever year it was, Olympic year, and he declined because he was opposed to the Nazi regime. Okay, he was also invited to go to they had a World Games type situation in Spain, and he was invited to that because a lot of people that were against competing in that year's Olympics, due for the same reasons, they were going to have a games for those people that they could participate in that was separate from the Olympic Games, but there was a war in Spain and it got canceled. But anyway, he was also a baseball player, and he was offered a contract by the Homestead Grays of the Negro Leagues. He won the World Colored Welterweight Championship, and he won the World Colored Middleweight Championship. But, you got to understand that that was something that they kind of gave to black fighters because a lot of black fighters wasn't really being represented well in professional boxing at the time, and was pretty much barnstorming and, fighting in, the chitlin circuit and, situations like that with no real chance of ever getting out there, getting any kind of exposure. Basically, the Ring magazine helped and others, and they created this championship for colored fighters. Sort of like a Negro Leagues for boxing. Okay, and Charley Burley beat Coco Kid to win the championship, but he never defended that welterweight belt. He used that as a stepping stone to try to get the title that Henry Armstrong had. And on that note, part of the reason why the World Color Championships did not last very long, was maybe a total of about two and a half, maybe 5 years that they actually existed. And a lot of that was largely due to the fact that Henry Armstrong won a world title, so he basically nullified that, and it wasn't no real need to have it's sort of like if the Negro Leagues had started within a year or so of Jackie Robinson, breaking the color barrier. You understand what I'm trying to say? Eventually, when more and more black baseball players was allowed to come into the major leagues, then there's really wasn't that much need for a world colored championship, but at the time, they pitched in for this idea, and the Ring magazine actually created a belt, made a belt, and gave it to the inaugural winners. Okay, but getting on with the Charley Burley deal, he was only 5'9.5", and he fought, from the weights of 145 pounds to 162. He never got much more over that during his career, but he repeatedly fought welterweights, middleweights, light heavyweights. He even beat the crap out of some heavyweight. JD something. Beat him so bad, messed his face all up, and dude quit. Didn't even come out for the 7th round. And you gotta understand, he beat a heavyweight, but he beat a heavyweight at, a weight of probably no more than 160 something pounds. Which fighters bulk up and do crazy stuff. It'll be the equivalent of, I don't know, Floyd Mayweather, or I don't know, Triple G, or, you pick them fighting a heavyweight, but not demanding that they cut weight and come down to 190 or meet them at some kind of catch weight, but just fight at the natural weight it was. If it really went down, if something really happened and Cat disrespected him and they wasn't really in a ring somewhere or at a gym, and dude step up, let's spar, let's see what you got. And you step up to the challenge and you handle that dude. That's the equivalent of what Charley Burley did. He never received a world title shot, and he was repeatedly ducked by Sugar Ray Robinson, who went on record to say one time that he was too pretty to fight Charley. He basically said, I didn't want no parts of that action. So this ducking thing been going on for quite some time, and apparently with the things that's taking place in boxing now, ducking is the thing to do. You can't even call it ducking no more. It's just business now, which is kind of jacked up. But I understand the nature of the beast. But just wanted to give a shout out to my boy CB. You know what I'm saying? He was also considered the best or the greatest of the Black Murderers Row members. And that's from people who were in the fight game, respected people. They all raved about Charley Burley. They seen, a lot of these guys seen all of them fight, and they hands down say that Charley Burley was the best of them. He had a record of 83, 12, 2-1, and he had 50 wins by KO. He had various financial problems and things of that nature, and so he was kind of forced to, while he was boxing and in between fights, to work jobs such as an aircraft mechanic and even a garbage man. Shouts out to my sanitation workers. Peace and love, man. Y'all don't know what that's about, but hey, get your money. But like I said, man, Charley Burley was a great, great fighter. And the thing that I think is so cool about it is, people was able to get interviews with him later in his years, and he would talk about the good old days. And he, not only was he a fighter, but he was a fan. And, and I think, that's the thing that I like to see, fighters be, is fans of the sport as well. And he wasn't bitter. He never really complained about not getting a world title shot, anything like that. He just was happy. He seemed like he was in good spirits and in good health, and was just glad and realized that he was part of something great at one time. And it's good to see guys like that win and get that recognition, even if it is in a time period beyond where he was able to really put himself out there and get the burn and the opportunities that, many people feel he should have gotten. But still, we know who he is now. Thanks to people like me and other YouTubers and just the internet in general, and a particular individual named Bud Schulberg, who gave those fighters the name Black Murderers Row. You know what I'm saying? So shouts out to these people, man. But man, like I said, Charley Burley was real cool about the situation. He didn't come off bitter. He didn't come off and, I started this gangster shit. Is this all the things I get? He just was genuinely happy to be part of it. And he looked at it from a perspective of, a fan as well. And he had fond memories of his career. But that was so cool. you know. And the Black Murderers Row is like, I draw inspiration from them on many levels that I'm not going to go into in this rant, but just to be low key, and then you ain't got to stick your chest out and beat on your chest for attention and look at me and me all the time. You know, get yours, but do it quietly. Because nowadays, this ain't really the time, even though everybody's trying to be somebody big on Instagram. Everybody wants to have followers on Twitter. Everybody wants to have a successful YouTube account. And look, I'm in it too. I want to have a successful YouTube account. But, you know, at the end of the day, if I only draw people that think like me and feel like me and feel what I'm saying, I'm totally happy and fine with that. I got hundreds of videos on here, you know, for the most part, that's largely overlooked. But at the end of the day, if something was to happen to me, my children and my grandchildren and generations to come got all kinds of footage of me, you know, spitting game. Because I talk about more than just boxing. I'll give you jewels and gems on how to live life and to better yourself, you know. One to grow on, if you will. So, you know, like I said, it don't really matter. I'm flying low key, I'm flying under the radar. You know what I'm saying? You don't want a lot of unwanted attention. And at the end of the day, you know, things is getting better for you, boy. You know? And it just keeps me humble. You know, because if Charley and these other guys can do it, you know, I can do it too in other aspects of my life. So, like I said, this Black Murderers Row series I did was fun. It's coming down to an end. I'm debating on whether or not I'm going to do one on Bud Schulberg, but I'm pretty sure I will. So that'll be my last somewhat Black Murderers Row related video. And then I got a lot of little stuff I want to talk about that I ain't really been talking about that's been happening in the world of boxing. Until then, though, peace out. One love.